Good morning, everyone. This is Ayin. It's going to be a little while before I teach my next live in-person class with you, but I wanted to do a little video with my voice and a quick tile to help you do some mindful creativity and to remind you that it's not about perfection, but enjoying the process. I've got a beautiful square tile with me today. So let's start with just going right into doing a tile, relaxing and forgetting about being perfect. Let's start with our corner dots. Corner dots are the first step just to help you lay down some markings on the paper so it's not so intimidating. Using graphite, it's a suggested limit, a border that you can cross over or ignore. So now that we've connected our 4 corner dots and created a border, we have a safe space to start. Next, I'm just going to do a very soft dividing line that divides our tile in half. This is a very simple string, but just a little bit of a suggested guidance to where we can put our patterns. Then I'm going to go in with my PN in black, but you can use your 05, your 03, your 01. It's up to you, whatever you have at home. I'm going to start with a pattern called Hollis today. So I'm just going to trace around and ink in this beautiful soft line that I've created. And then from there, I'm going to do my first Hollis round. And aura, that string. Breathing as I go. Very slowly. Creating now, almost like a squiggly little worm. But this little worm is going to become a beautiful little string that I place and grow more Hollis forms for. So it's going around and orating back on itself. And there, you can end it into itself. So from each of these little wiggly mounds, I'm going to go ahead and create another Hollis that grows. And I'm just going to wiggle that right into itself. And the fun thing with Hollis is you can grow them anywhere. I'm just going to grow another one right there. And this time I'm going to go right back into the base. What I love about Zentangle is that the lines don't have to be perfect. In fact, it's the imperfection and the little bumps that our hands come across that make the lines individual to us. And it's not about being perfect. Although each pattern has its rules and steps, you can also step outside of those steps and create your own. So I'm going to turn my tile to make it easier for my hand to grow some more. And on this side, I'm going to grow one more nice soft one right there. And I'm going to connect that right back into this other stem. And then from there, I'm going to grow one more that takes off from this new curl. And there we go. There's the basis of our Hollis. I'm doing this live with no planning today, early in the morning, as Hong Kong starts to wake up, where I'm sitting in my little office drawing room. I miss teaching you. I miss having our classes where we have fun together in person. But because of health issues that I'm going through at the moment, it's going to be a little while before I can see you for our live classes. Hopefully very soon. But in the meantime, I'm being brave and recording voiced videos so that you can have something, a little bit of me, to accompany you during your week. So here's my hollis, and I think that's enough. I think I like where it's gone. And to add to my hollis, I'm going to do another very simple pattern that you all know that starts with a crescent moon. And it's called moon pie because it starts with a crescent moon, but it's like a slice of pie. There's my crescent moon. I'm going to aura that and aura one more. And here, I'm just going to give it a little bit of spice and give it some line detail in this aura. You can do polka dots, you can do lines, whatever it is you want. And then to finish it off, I'm going to do little orbs just to give it a little bit more of a character. And then add one more aura line. So that's moon pie. And I'm going to choose to do the same in all the little gaps, or some of the little gaps. We'll see how we go. And repeating the same steps. Doing the orb, as many as you can fit in, and then going ahead and doing the aura around the orb. And you can see how it's creating its own pattern now. Starting with little crescent moon, giving it an aura, one more aura, adding some line work, and then going ahead and adding a little orb crown on top of it, and then holding all those orbs in with one more aura. So the beauty of Zentangle is once you have started a pattern and you know where you need to repeat it, it's the repetition that helps you to relax and let go. You have confidence that you know what the next step is. And just breathe, relax, and let the patterns unveil. Art therapy is something that really does work for me. Throughout my new issues with my health, they have been a calming sense, a grounding tool to know that I can pick up pen and paper and soothe the anxiety, the overthinking, and the uncertainties. For these few minutes as I do my art, my mind lets go and just focuses on one line at a time. And today, there was no planning in doing this. I got up very early in the morning and I had a really strange dream with one of my students asking me, when can we have classes again? And I thought, okay, maybe I need to do a little something to remind you of your ability to be creative, to embrace mindfulness, to have gratitude. This video was not scripted. I literally decided, let's just turn on the camera and go with it and say hello, and to tell you that you are creative, that you can be creative, that you can choose mindfulness, and that you can practice daily, or especially in instances where your mind is cluttered and you need it. just enjoying the moon pies. You can fast forward if you want to, but we're doing this real time so you can see how it comes to life. Sometimes it's not about how many patterns you know. Sometimes it's just about taking your favorite patterns and letting them soothe your soul. Maria Thomas says that the pen soothes your soul, and for me it does in many ways, not only in art but also in my writing, in my journaling. Anytime you can add more Hollis turns if you want, but I like to see where my original turns have gotten me, and so far I like where it's come. It's created a beautiful little pattern, a beautiful whimsical plant, a beautiful vine. Just me in my study or my art room at my desk so early in the morning in Hong Kong, starting the day off with a bit of calm for my mind that is overthinking a lot lately. And there we go. There's our Hollis with our magpie, or moon pie, sorry. So in the center here, I feel like I need something. So maybe I'll just add some orbs, because they are the wonderful thing to add to anything. Any tangle, adding some orbs gives it more embellishment. The orbs also play off of what I've done with the magpies. So I keep on calling them magpies. That's a bird. This is a moon pie. I'm just going to ink in the base and have them not fly away. And inking in, you can also make them a little bit rounder. There we go. I'm just going to do a little bit of rounding so that they all stay. And we're going to do a little bit of orbs in some of the other curves, just on the inside. Maybe they're future moon pies waiting to bud. So, whenever you're watching this, I hope your day is going well. I hope you've taken some time for yourself just to enjoy ink to paper, one step at a time, and not worry about that it needs to be perfect, that it needs to be seen by somebody, that you need to do anything else besides enjoying the process and relaxing your mind, relaxing your spirit. And you can go on and add as many orbs as you want, or you don't. If you like your Hollis the way it was, you don't have to add it. I'm just doing some rounding to make sure they stick to the Hollis and don't fall off. I'm going to add some more just to the inside here. There's something very comforting about making orbs. And orbs don't have to be perfectly round, roundish, because they're orbs. One little there, just to stick it in, and tighten the other ones together. And by doing a little bit of black to stick them together, you're actually adding a bit of drama, adding a bit of, what's the word? Heaviness, inkiness. And I love the inkiness. And there's one very bare little Hollis here, so I'm just going to add a few more. I haven't decided if I'm going to edit this video so that it cuts out, but I think I might just do one just for you, where you have my voice and you're watching me draw real time and being with you. I'm pretty happy with where that's gone. I think I'll leave it at that for now. I might add on to it later, but I think we're good for now. So we're going to put away our pen and move on to shading. To me, shading is giving gentle love to the pattern, giving it life, giving it dimension. Just even by doing that soft line in graphite, you can already see how Hollis now is not two-dimensional, but has a shadow that it casts because it has life. A lot of people rush the shading process, but I've learned to enjoy it. Seeing how the graphite hugs the ink lines, the contrast between solid lines and soft. That's the beauty of shading. It takes those simple lines and turns it into art. I love the act of shading with the graphite, hearing the scratch, scratch, scratch against the beautiful cotton tile paper. I find it soothing and relaxing. And you practice. You find out how heavy-handed you are with your pen or with your graphite, and you'll gauge how much graphite you need to put down as you start to know how heavy-handed you are or how light-handed you are. And you also learn through the blending process how tight you want the shadow or how soft you want to blend the shadow out. So again, it's something that you learn, something that you practice, and it becomes second nature. Many of you who started classes with me never thought you could do drawings, never thought you could draw. But now, like me, you're hooked on creating these little vignettes of abstract art. And just enjoying where the line takes you. Enjoying the steps in the process to create something special. And in creating something special, you get the benefit of a beautiful little art tile. But the biggest benefit is during that time of creation, your mind has relaxed and you're benefiting from all those wonderful endorphins of creativity. So now we're going to go back with my little blender. I'm just going to tight blend all around the shape. And we're going to give it just that gorgeous little shadow. Remember that you can turn your tile to help the tip of your tortillon get right into the crevices. And that's the whole point. Don't worry about, does it look perfect? Is it perfectly blended? We're just going to hug the moon pie and the Hollis with this beautiful soft layer of graphite. Taking care to blend towards the line, finding the motion that works best to smudge it out just the right amount. I enjoy that scratchy sound, that very tactile feel. Well, textile too, because the cotton paper has a beautiful texture to it. And just letting go and enjoying the blending. Blending may be the most boring thing to watch on film, but let's take you through in real time this little tile today, which also shows you that it actually doesn't take very much time to find a little bit of solitude for yourself, to carve out a little bit of time to let your mind relax, to carve out a little bit of time to allow for creative meditation, which is what you're doing. Just enjoying your time. Just enjoying being alone with your creativity. Letting go of what's the next step, knowing that I already have my Zentangle steps, and I know what the next step is. I'm doing this video in English because it still is my comfort language. For my students who speak Cantonese, I trust that with seeing the demonstration, you also understand what it is that I'm sharing and teaching. Because art really needs no language. I hope that you're able to find time to relax, pick up a tile, and give it a try. And I hope that we can soon be in live classes together, laughing and experimenting and learning together. I apologize if this video is not perfect, but that's also part of the process. I spend a lot of time editing the videos that I do without voice and just with instructional. But I've also hid behind the fear of being on camera, of voicing on camera, even though I've spent my life teaching and conducting training and conducting public speaking, being on live broadcast TV. I've done all of this, but when it comes to the end, sitting in front of a camera, hearing my voice being recorded is something that's so scary. So maybe my situation with my health and my desire and love for teaching will force me outside of this last comfort zone, and I can do more voiced lessons for you. Even as we finish, my mind is still debating how I will release this video. To my followers, to my mindful creativity attendees, I will try to be brave and do an as is so that you have some time with me, my thoughts, and my reflections as we go through simple lessons that remind you it's not about perfection. It's about the process and enjoying the process. And our end result, this beautiful little hollis with moon pie and orbs added, is the bonus. Now, always be proud and sign your chop and own your work. And I thank you for taking the time to have a mindful moment with me and to be reminded that everybody can be mindfully creative. Bye for now.